Now, Corey Harding, he left Tia Mowry, but I'm reading, and this is allegedly in reports, she filed divorce first. And for what some people are saying allegedly, Corey is just not starting to bubble as an actor. He's getting on his feet. So she was the sole breadwinner.
So he's starting to smell himself.
I don't think he's starting to smell himself. I just think in that type of position,
right?
Maybe she was so used to being a provider. Now he a man, he getting the bag. He want to be a man now.
Right.
And she might not be able to accept that.
Yeah. She want to keep the strap on. She want to keep bending him over.
Yeah.
Instead of
she want to keep a leash on his neck. And now you know what I mean?
Said, you know what?
Guess
what? I'm popping now, chick.
I put in the shade room. I said, man, Corey Harding got on his feet and walked away.
Hey, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a couple of my coworkers today. We got into a little back and forth because one of my coworkers was saying that, speaking of relationships, that in the Nia Long and Ime Udoka, I don't know how to say his name, that in that situation, that he owes the public an apology.
He don't owe the public.
I said, first of all, because they were praising her for some deep-ass, profound statement that she made and saying that she wasn't going to say anything else about it, right? I said, okay, she said she's not going to say nothing else about it. They need to go behind closed doors, and they need to figure this shit out. Whether she's going to stay with him, whether she's going to break away for a little while and then go back, whatever they're going to do. I said, that's their business. This is their relationship. It's not our relationship. One of my coworkers, an adult, actually said, well, they are public people, so it is our relationship. We deserve to... I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean,
this is between those two people. Dude, we don't know him. We don't know her.
Look, with Udoka, we just in this weird time, bro. I just don't think people, and I'm not trying to justify him cheating or whatever, but he's a man at the end of the day.
They ain't married. He ain't cheating.
He a tall man.
You can't cheat unless you married.
Yeah, that's true too.
You can't cheat unless you
married.
married.
So they want to emasculate this man for what?
Yeah.
Getting some pussy.
Yeah, that's a criminal act now.
This big old 6'5" nigga worth $3-4 million. It's raining pussy on him every time he walk out the door. I'm surprised he lasted this long. Can he get an award for not fucking no hoes this long?
Well, for not getting caught this long.
You know what I'm saying?
He just,
like Jesus.
By
Christ.
the time you get caught, like if you went out today and got a ticket for running a red light, how many red lights have you run in your life since you've been driving?
Well, I have
300.
I don't really.
No. Well, I'm saying, how many stop signs have you rolled through? If you get pulled over for rolling through a stop sign, you've rolled through a few. Yeah. So when you finally get caught, you know what I'm saying? How many times have you drifted over to the HOV lane and rode for a little while before you finally get caught?
And then I want to say this.
This ain't the first. But what I'm saying is that man don't owe me no explanation.
You take a woman, a 51-year-old woman.
Come on, man.
Right? Now, let's just look at this. Let's look at it. A 51-year-old woman.
Take him to church.
And a 45-year-old man worth millions of dollars.
Go ahead, Pastor. A 51-year-old woman with 2 kids.
Over 6 feet. A
51-year-old woman with 2 kids.
With 2 kids. Over 6 feet tall.
Come on,
man.
Now.
Over 6 feet tall.
Bring it home, Pastor.
Who is the catch?
Come on, Pastor.
Who is the prize in this? Why do we keep, like, I get it. I know she was hot in the 90s. But who is the real prize in this relationship?
Turn to your neighbor.
Like, why do we keep saying,
Come on now.
How could he do that? Like, who's the prize?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the prize?
Yes.
He can date from what, 20 on up to 51.
He can get a 19.
He can go from 20 to 80.
If he really ain't got no qualms about it, he can get him a 19.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Like, I don't, like, this
cute,
whole thing, they just beating on this man.
Not saying that I would, but
then they don't want to talk about the woman, the other woman that was involved who opened her legs consensually.
He is the prize. A man's value on the sexual marketplace increases with time. A woman's value on the sexual marketplace decreases with time. The fact that he has a child does not affect him in the way that it affects her.
What did he say? What's Kevin Sam say? What the French toast?
What the French toast is going on here? Because let me tell you something. A kid coming out, him producing a child didn't put any miles on his body. Let me tell you something. Nia Long is
I don't like how this is
she's
going.
she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. But let me tell you something. Nia Long of 2022 is not Nia Long of Love Jones.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna tell you.
Oh, I don't like how this.
Don't none of us know what he sees at 4 o'clock in the morning coming out of that shower.
Listen,
No makeup, no hair, bonnet, the whole nine. Don't none of us know what he's seeing.
I still love Nia Long.
And he been seeing it for a long time. That's the other thing. I don't care how nice your car is.
But at the end
once
of
you
the
done
day,
kept it for 12 years, nigga.
Yeah. What you know?
What is this 2022? If you got a 2010 S class, you know what that S class was when you bought it brand new in 2010. That S class was killer.
At the end of the day,
You looking at that bitch now in 2022, you like, ah, damn. I still got to open this bitch with the key. Like, nigga, this bitch ain't got a push start. Motherfucker ain't got Bluetooth. Shit.
Oh,
This shit ain't.
oh,
The 2022 Nia Long ain't Love Jones Nia Long is what I'm telling you.
oh.
Definitely not Boys in the Hood
so
Nia
you-
Long.
do you
Nia
think-
was bad in 91 when Boys in the Hood came
It
out.
would have been better if Emu Doga gets back in the time machine and goes back in time.
Bruh, he just tired, man. He tired and he needed something. Cause he was like, oh, well, the chick he messed with, she wasn't bad as Nia Long, man. Y'all overestimating what a dude's standards are.
He probably
Dude's
got,
standards is way lower than what you think.
just think he probably in that basketball office, probably in there for 12, 13 hours
Come on
trying
now.
to write plays.
And she running up in there. She coming up in the office.
You want some coffee? I can get you something.
Hello,
I can
Ime.
get you
How are
some.
you doing?
Yeah.
You want some coffee? You want some tea?
Yeah.
You want some chips?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would you like some chips?
What's that? Is that your keychain?
I tell you what, let me clear off your desk for a minute.
Is that your
E-Man.
keychain?
You don't need all this on your desk. Let me
Then it
clear
just
off your
got
desk.
Hot and
Yeah.
heavy. Dude, you know
Yeah,
what?
E-Man. Yeah, E-Man. You don't need all.
Now he milking it.
Yeah.
Look,
Climb up on that desk.
It was probably that scene. It was
Shit,
probably
she climb
that
up on that
scene.
desk with that mini skirt with
It
no
was probably that
drawers.
scene from
Yeah.
Jungle Fever when
Come on,
Wesley
man.
Snipes when Jungle Fever when they was in that architect. Dude, do you know Jungle Fever is not streaming
When,
on any?
when he did this.
You can't find Jungle Fever nowhere.
Really?
No, it's
When
not
did you look?
streaming. The other night,
Are
me
any
and
other-
Samantha was gonna watch.
Any of other any of
You
Spidey
gotta
other
you gotta
movies?
buy it on DVD.
Spike Lee
you-
probably looked at it. He
you
probably
an
set it up like
asshole,
that.
Spike.
He probably
Stream
set
the
it up
movie,
like that.
bro.
Spike ain't making no money right now. He need to get his ends.
Well, you better stream that damn Jungle Fever,
Well,
bro.
Spike need to get his ends. I ain't mad.
Bro, who the hell
ain't
going?
mad
You
at
got to
Spike.
buy the DVD player with the DVD. I'm not putting no damn DVD in. How's he gonna make money?
Oh damn, I ain't know that. I thought you said he have a block on it where you had. Oh shit.
No, you can't buy it.
Oh damn.
It's not streaming.
Let me see if I got Spike number in my phone. Tell him to call me.
Ah,
Set up a deal.
It's
You
not
need to set up a
streaming.
deal with Netflix, bro. Spike old school. You know he probably don't
old
realize
school,
that.
my ass. You
He
better.
probably don't realize that streaming is like the thing.
And that was a wonderful
He
movie.
said you can get Jungle Fever in any.
But Jungle Fever was a
Video
good-
store.
Boy, that was a good movie, bro.
Oh yeah.
Them '90s movies was
Oh
something
yeah.
else, man.
Everything was good in the 90s. Rappers was good in the 90s.
Have you watched Dahmer?
No, I haven't watched Dahmer yet.
Y'all-
We had a conversation. Listen, we had a conversation about fame and celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with somebody, a couple of people that was famous in the 90s, that became famous in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the value because Brad did a story about something that Kodak Black said about Lotto winning Song of the Year at the Hip Hop Awards, and he was pissed off about it. Said that he felt like she didn't deserve it, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And then she was naming a couple of these other people that chimed in on it, and then when we got up, it was like, who are these people? Like, is everybody fucking famous? Like, who are these random ass rappers? And I said, you know what? I honestly believe that with the advent of social media, what it did was social media made everybody famous that ain't a real celebrity. It just made people famous. But I feel like
400,000 on Facebook.
I feel like your fame, your celebrity status has more value if you became famous in the 80s or the 90s. Like, you can't put a Denzel Washington on the same level you can't put a King Bach on the same level as Denzel Washington. Because you look at a King, and I'm not shitting on King Bob. I'm just saying you can't look at a person's following and say that, okay, well, this makes him equal to him. No.
So I break it down like this, bro. I mean,
I think what social media did is created a lot of very well known people, but there's very few real celebrities.
I break it down to impressions. I break everything down to impressions. Like this is a whole numbers thing. Now an impression is typically everything you see in front of you. Like these is all impressions. That painting, this thing on the wall, this microphone, they're impressions.
Right.
In this era where you can get on this phone and pretty much put your stuff out to 2 billion people on Instagram, 3 billion people on Facebook, 3 billion people on YouTube. The more impressions you have, the more known you become in a sense. And your fame is directly proportional to how greatly you've impacted that person on the other end. Now, in those days, other Denzel, these things back in the day,
Samuel L. Jackson,
right,
Morgan Freeman,
there were like
Brad Pitt.
There were gatekeepers. They had to get so much approval.
But
they had to go through so much shit.
But look at a Eddie Murphy. Look at a Brad Pitt. Look at a Kevin Costner.
Yeah, but
look at a
gone.
Whitney Houston.
It's over.
But I'm saying that level of celebrity has way more weight than any person that became famous strictly from the social media age.
My son is 7. Do you know any of those people, son? Did he name?
He's 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would he know who Morgan Freeman is?
All I'm telling you, over a period
Why would
of
he know
time,
Morgan Freeman? He's 7.
Over a period. Well, he's what's gonna matter.
You know what
We
kids
not
their
gonna
age
matter.
know? They know McDonald's and Michael Jackson.
Do you know Michael Jackson, Princeton?
Yes.
Do you know who Michael Jordan is?
Yes.
Do you know who Kobe Bryant is?
Yes.
Do you know who Brad Pitt is?
No.
Do you know who Burt Reynolds? Does
Burt
that name sound familiar?
Reynolds.
I'm doing a social.
Denzel
test.
Washington. Do you know?
Do you know who
that is?
Denzel Washington is?
Oh, I know Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
That's Idris
Now
Elba.
that is the
That's Idris
biggest
Elba.
YouTube guy on the face of the earth. He's more famous than
Who,
everybody.
Mr. Beast?
Yeah, he lives in North Carolina.
Oh, I thought you was talking
He is
about
the most famous person
Mr. Beast
walking around.
Now, who is Mr. Beast? I don't know who Mr. Beast is.
YouTuber was famous.
He's a famous YouTuber. Okay,
How many
Mr.
subscribers
Beast,
does Mr. Beast have, Princeton?
About 100,000.
No,
100 million.
100 million.
Okay, and Mr. Beast is nowhere on the level of,
To us. But
Jack Nicholson.
it's subjective.
Okay, but
They might not be on the level to us.
Is he
but
on the
to
level
him,
of a Jack Nicholson?
It's subjective.
Hell, is he on the level of a goddamn Johnny Depp?
Do you know who Jack Nicholson is, son? So
Do you
to
know who
my
Johnny
son-
Depp is? Do you know who Johnny Depp is?
No.
So it's all subjective. So to
Right.
my son, he means more to him than us. It's subjective. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's not
so you need to
subjective,
get
but
your
what I'm
ego
saying,
out of the
but
way.
what I'm saying is, you're not.
That's your impact.
You're-
That's how you feel. It's
a lot of
literally
people
how
feel.
you feel, or people in your age group
It's
feel.
it's
subjective.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's a manufactured level of celebrity. You have real celebrities, then you have a manufactured level of celebrities.
I don't know, bro. I don't even look at celebrity anymore. I just think it's.
Joan Rivers, just hilarious. They are not the same.
But I tell you what, you bring a young black girl in here.
I know, but what I'm
Jess
saying-
will
but-
mean
but-
more to
I
her
get
than
that.
Joan
I get
ever
that.
could.
I
So,
get
but
that.
it goes back to being subjective. It's your perception of the person that
No, but
makes
what
the
I'm saying
difference
in
in
society's
the level of fame.
perception. Like when it comes
Who
to
is
like
society?
the Hollywood stars of fame, you can't put Johnny Carson next to Jake Paul and say that
Can you put
they
Johnny,
both deserve
can you
a
put
star
Jo-
on the Hollywood
Can you
Hall
put Johnny
of Fame.
Carson next to Joe Rogan?
No, Joe Rogan is borderline. He's on the borderline.
Joe
I don't
Rogan
think
is
Joe. I
Carson.
don't think Joe Rogan Joe Rogan is somewhat a manufactured celebrity.
No, he's not. He built it on his own.
Joe
through the
Rogan
internet.
don't,
He's
but
not
he don't
manufactured.
have the level of cachet when it comes to being a true celebrity, a true star as a Johnny Carson. Hell, Joe Rogan ain't David Letterman. Joe Rogan is a
He's bigger.
podcaster that hit a lick.
No, he bigger, bro.
He might be bigger in terms of money. He might be bigger in terms of present popularity. But Joe Rogan and David Letterman do not belong in the same room. If they both get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Joe Rogan's need to be way the fuck away from David Letterman.
I don't think so.
No, because
I think the beauty of Rogan too.
you saying he got it out the mud? He didn't get it out the mud.
He did get it out of the
didn't get it out the
mud.
He got it out of some very thin mud.
Bro, he got kicked out of the
Nah, the
comedy
David
store.
Lettermans of the world got it out the real mud.
No, they didn't.
They got it out the real
not true,
mud.
bro.
They got it out the real mud.
Nah.
When you had to dig yourself, dude, they was doing Evening at the Improv in 1984, shit like that.
Yeah, but you think about it.
When they didn't have
they-
when they had no
right, they
vehicles
didn't-
to showcase their talent.
I'm not gonna knock them.
They
not
had
having,
no vehicle
I'm
to
not gonna
showcase their
knock them
talent.
having the vehicles. Rogan came up at the same time, but Rogan was able to take these tools, take digital media,
Right.
and literally build this. He's
Okay,
doing the
but
same
you're
thing
saying
we
that
do.
like that's nothing.
Bruh.
It's like me being on the bench and pressing 225 10 times
Bruh, it's
without a
very
spotter
difficult.
versus pressing it with a spotter.
It's difficult.
It's a whole different.
Bruh.
If a spotter comes in when I'm on rep number 5, that's a whole different than the dude who repped that bad boy 10 times with no spotter.
Look, man,
Social media is the spotter.
I guess.
Digital media is the spotter.
Well, I mean, bro, if it's
So
so, if
you
it's so
can't say-
easy, everybody would be.
It's
popping
not that
too.
it's so easy, but it's that you can't give the same amount of cachet to a person that came up with the spotter as the person who came up without the spotter. You can't put Ricky and Country Wayne on the same level. Is Country Wayne funny? Yeah. Is Country Wayne popular? Yeah. Is Country Wayne creative?
But it's
yeah.
it's still subjective to
but
the person
you can't put him
ask.
on the you can't put him on
You
the same
can't.
level.
It's subjective
as a-
to the person you're asking.
dude, it's a different type of celebrity. And I'm not shitting on the new type of celebrity. I'm saying you can't put them in the same
You're
basket.
speaking from an old
You can't put
person.
them in the same basket. Maybe I am speaking from an old person's perspective, but you can't put them in the same basket. You just can't. You know, you can't put Meg the Stallion in the same basket as Lil Kim.
My grandmother would be, if my grandmama was alive, she'd be like 112 or 113.
2 years older than me.
So one group that my grandma used to listen to was this old group called the Ink Spots.
Right.
The Ink Spots. Okay.
Right.
Now, according to my grandmama,
And she's
you
100 and
could-
what?
she would be like 102 or 3. I mean,
When did she
she's
die?
dead. She's dead now, but I'm
Oh,
saying
man,
she was
sorry to hear that.
alive.
You okay?
But if we were to go back to that, but dig my grandmama up and ask her, grandmama, could you compare
I'm just
Michael
saying.
Jackson to the Ink Spots?
I didn't know your grandmother
My
had
grandmama
passed.
go, hell no, you can't compare the Ink Spots. We're way ahead of Michael Jackson, baby. The Ink Spots, you can't put them on the same pedestal. Because Michael Jackson had television. We didn't have television. We had radio. Radio.
So we just
He
gonna
had television and video. That's how you sound.
so we just gonna skate past the fact that your grandmother passed and you're trying to deal with that right
No, my grandmama been dead. My grandma died in the 90s. I just said if she was
But are
alive
you
today. Okay.
now. Are you okay?
No, I'm still triggered by that. My grandma been dead a long time.
Okay.
But I'm telling
He
you to
didn't- he
say,
didn't know that. Your son is here.
my
You might be
son,
traumatized
my
by
son,
hearing that.
bro, my grandma was old. My grandma was born in 1912.
Damn.
So
So she was always old from the time you
yeah,
knew her. She
even
was
when I
old.
was a baby, my grandma.
That's how I felt about my
had an
grandmother. I felt like my
original
grandmother
grandma.
was 70 when I was born.
No, I had an original grandma. Well, I didn't have no 40-year-old grandma.
Yeah. She was old.
She was
from,
one of the
from
originals.
The
That's
from the
right.
get-go.
Yeah,
What was her name?
Lillian.
Yeah, that's an old lady name.
Lillian Leak.
Yeah, wasn't no Latrices back then.
No. And my grandmama was real fair
Martika.
skinned. My grandma very fair skinned. She had color complex. She always that black mother, just black.
grandmother-
she was just black, and she wanna be just black.
And my grandmother on my mother's side was on the complete opposite end. She was really dark skinned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she hated white people.
Yeah.
But my mother is mixed.
Your mom mixed.
My mom mixed. And we always
Your
wondered.
mama's a mulatto.
Yeah. And we always wondered How is this possible?
Wait,
That
so
my
you-
grandma, my nana was she didn't like white people, but we
But she
always
was married to a
wondered.
white man.
We don't know, nigga. She never told us. I would ask about.
She coulda got
'cause
raped.
My mother. Oh, come on, man. I can't put that.
She
out
could have got raped.
My mother never met her father, her biological father.
But
right?
she knows she's half white.
Nigga, you can look at it until she had what? Yeah. So I'm asking my grandmother before she died. Well, okay, I hate when people say that. Obviously, it was before she died. I wasn't asking her nothing after she died. But before I asked her, I said, "Who is my biological?" That ain't your business. Don't worry about that. And I'm looking at my mom. I'm like, okay, but she look half. I said, but you don't like. That
But
ain't
no,
your business.
yeah. So she could have.
Same thing on my father's side. Now my father wasn't mixed; he black. But I never knew who my biological grandfather was
But
either.
bro-
And you know what my grandmother told me?
What?
Ain't your business. Don't worry about
So
it.
that meant your grandmama was probably a victim, bro. She was probably a victim.
See, now I feel bad. Now I want to
Yeah,
cry.
that's why she didn't tell you,
God damn it,
dumbass.
man.
You didn't realize that.
But she never told. But look, so
'Cause
I don't.
back
So I
then-
don't know. I don't
back
know
then,
either one of my
old-
biological grandfathers.
Back then, old people bottled up trauma.
Do you know both of your biological sets of grandparents?
I didn't. I never met my biological grandfather.
On which side?
On my father's side, he died when my dad was 13 or 14.
Okay.
I met my biological grandmother on my dad's side. I met her like 2 or 3 times.
But let me tell you something interesting about on my side. So
Oh.
as a kid, I thought my granddad on my dad's side, I thought that was my grandfather, like my biological grandfather.
Yeah.
His last name was not my dad's last name, nor is it my last name. I ain't put two and two
He
together.
was
I
your
was damn near in my
step-granddad.
30s.
He was your step granddad?
It was around the time my dad died when I started putting all these pieces of the puzzle together and realizing that, wait a minute, this was my dad's step dad. But nobody ever bothered to tell me that. So y'all let me grow up for the majority of my life thinking that this is my biological. So then when I asked my grandmother, she was in her 90s, I said, Grandma, I said, well, where did my last name come from? Because you don't have my last name. My dad, my granddad didn't have my last name. Where did my last name come from? She said it came from your dad's father. I said, okay, so who was he? Don't worry about it. He was much older. That's all you need to know. He was much older.
Victims.
And she took that shit to the grave.
And yeah.
So I don't know who the fuck I came from.
She was probably victim.
I could be married to my cousin right now and not even know
You
it.
need to do a why don't for
DNA,
the next show
23andMe?
we do a 23andMe.
23andMe.
We're gonna see where Special K is from. We're gonna try to get to the root. And then my grandmother adopted my mom. So
There was a lot of shit going on back in them days,
yeah,
bro.
so I met my
they ain't talk
biological.
about.
I met my biological grandfather on my mom's side. I did not know he was my biological grandfather, but then I put 2 and 2 together because they look exactly.
But did your
alike.
last name have any janky? Like my last name
No, I
came
got
out
my
of
dad-
nowhere,
I
bro.
got my dad's last name. I mean, my dad.
Like my
was
last
in
name came out of nowhere. Like I'm like, where did this name come from?
Tatum.
Yeah, like who the fuck was that?
So we gonna.
That's not even a black
We
name.
gotta go find your granddaddy.
I think I got 2 white granddaddies.
We gotta
I
find
got
this
2 white
granddaddy.
raping ass granddaddies.
We gotta find this granddaddy.
I think my granddaddy was Candy from Django.
We gotta find him. I think we can do this. This would be
I
interesting.
swear.
Well, I guess that's gonna wrap up today's episode of Two Virgos and a Mic. I'm LeVar Walker. This is Special K. I will be at the Baltimore Comedy Factory October 29th to the 30th, Halloween
And
week.
I won't be.
And Special K will be at Uptown, like he's every week at Uptown.
This is not the case.
Every weekend, Special K is at Uptown Comedy
Not
Corner,
the case.
headlining.
I will not be at Uptown Comedy Corner. Unless they call, I have a lot of money.
So that's go right. You got anything else you want to say?
Nah, man, just look for some bigger things toward the end of 2022, the top of 2023. I'm thinking about doing a project. That's all I'm gonna say right now. I'm thinking about doing a project, and that project might be amazing. And on the next episode, we're gonna have yet a third Virgo that's gonna join us and
We
give
need
his
to find your
perspective
daddy,
from
your granddad.
a younger perspective. I'm gonna have one of my sons on here.
Yeah, we gonna find your granddaddy.
I don't give a damn. He dead now. Nigga,
But we need to
150.
find. We gotta find him.
Why?
Cause just to see where you come. When you feel.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Yeah, I want to know.
My biological grandfather, on my mom's side, he was a fireman and a magician. which I thought, dude.
I don't know why that's funny.
My mama took us.
Which one was he better at?
I mean, I guess
I would hope
he
he
was
would be a better
No,
fireman.
he was a good fireman. He was like the first assistant.
Well, how do you know if you're a bad fireman?
He was the
let's
first
examine that.
black assistant fire chief in Kentucky.
Okay, so he was a good fireman,
and he was a magician.
but he was also a magician.
Like, dog, he was like, we would come to the house, bro. He would make birds come out the table. He was
You come to
serious.
the house, you say, "Hey, son, how you doing?" He'd reach it behind your head and pull a fucking parakeet
he would do
out.
a show for us. He did a show.
That was dope.
Bro, he had the pigeon come out. He would do all this. He had it all.
That's dope.
It was
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Damn,
I'm gonna do some more research on him.
I learn more about you every day.
So look, Mama
Yep.
LeVar Walker.
I'm K. Douglas, man. We out.
All right.
2 Virgos and a mic.
2 Virgos and a mic.